sack. All of these non-funny, not I mean, these people can't sing. Sexy Red is manufactured. Who is that bitch? She's not even pretty. I mean, a tattoo on her belly. I mean, you never see a bitch with a tattoo on her tummy on the cover of Sports Illustrated, which is basically soft porn for white folk. I mean, come on. This garbage Diddy, or for that matter, the rotten, reduced for quick sell broccoli hairdo of Jay Z. What made him such a genius? He's such a great rapper, really? Over and over and over again, these are people who are agents of our repression. And I mean, they put up Ricky Martin, and Ricky Martin was like the big thing till he decided to just come out and say, I like dick more than pussy. I mean, the first big gig he's had in years was for Come Swallow. I mean, but of all places to get Ricky Martin, as I say, Tricky Dicky Martin, to put
Cooked.
him up in
Cooked.
to put Tricky Martin up in front of Puerto Ricans the way that they feel about openly gay people, and you wonder why you lost Pennsylvania, silly bitch. I mean, people don't like this stuff, but all these are manufactured. So we know that Disney grooms people, they molest people. Diddy did it, Epstein did it, the Clintons do it, Obama did it. They either use or exploit or whatever, and you consistently see them over and over and over again. And we, the dumbasses, think if you get in front of a television, if you get a lot of hype, you have to be okay. Who made TD Jakes this odd looking? I mean, the dude who has a head that looks like a burnt pinto bean. And he's fat with a gut. I mean, touched himself watching male strippers, right? How does he get all these tens of millions of dollars? So Oprah Winfrey, who looks like that thing that has the eyeball in the forehead. What's that called? You know what it is, Negro. What's it called? It's yellow and it has an eyeball in the forehead.
You talking about the
You would.
Cyclops?
Talking about the Cyclops?
Well, Oprah looks like a cyclops with two eyes. I mean, if you saw that picture of her getting into her sports utility vehicle when the person was asking about the money that she got paid for Come Swallow, and you really saw Oprah and you realize she's still flabby after all the Ozempic, she keeps taking, maybe it'll do us all a favor. I mean, Oprah's unattractive. Looking at her, she still looks bad, and she's got a hairline that looks like. I mean, her forehead is about 3 inches. She's almost got like the headhunters shrink the heads and shit, and the Pacific. Oprah Winfrey has a head on one of like those shrunken skulls that they keep on the string. Oprah's not beautiful. She's evil. All of these people that put up, she's black success. Michael Jordan and his sacrificed father. All of this stuff is a fiction. It's to distract us away from where the real money and power and what the real issues are in the country. And they've just told us how great AOC is. You can't get that kind of publicity. AOC gets more attention every day of her life than the victims of Hurricane Helene are getting right now. She gets 10 times more. That's because she serves their purpose. She's a distraction. They're trying to make her into basically the Goya Foods Shirley Chisholm. Well, the shit's failed.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
Yeah, well,
real quick, brother
real
Doctor
quick, brother
Short.
Doctor
I'm
Short. I'm.
hold on. Let me do
Hold on, let
this.
me do
Hold
this.
on.
Hold on.
I'm gonna mute you for a second, brother Doctor Short. You got an echo there, ladies and gentlemen. The wolf is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Juan J. Johnson, LWF training, sir. How are you this afternoon, sir? See if we can hear the brother Juan J. Johnson. Brother Juan J. Johnson, you are live, sir. Yeah, they got him zapped. Okay. Well,
Hey,
I'm
chef,
a,
you see some of the things that I got? Oh, okay, you bringing that up?
oh
Yo,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Let's
Explain what
run.
we're looking at here, brother.
Okay, first of
Brother.
all, this is her political platform, right?
Okay.
You know, the little Negro gonna be nosy. The thing
Mm,
that she got is honoring immigration. That's on the far bottom right hand corner, brother. You click on
right.
that, right? She's talking
Mm,
about abolishing ICE, family. She's talking about getting a Green New Deal. So
mm.
she's trying to get the immigrants in the fold to put us at the bottom. Because we already know every deal that everybody has made with the US government has came to at the expense of our progress. All right.
Well, let's go on to this Green New Deal a touch here. So
Yes, sir.
let's break that down for us, sir.
Yeah. This is them trying to say that they're going to renew everything and try to do everything go green and all this other nonsense. But it's supposedly supposed to create jobs and stuff like that, and it's supposed to get rid of fossil fuels. It's like the alternative way of like the Teslas and all that stuff would have fallen into this category, right?
Right,
So
right, right.
this is one of the things that she's pushing or been pushing underneath the Bernie Sanders type of model.
Mm,
So I just want to.
mm.
So you see how the small hats are uniting. No disrespect,
Well, let's
but
beat
but
this. Well, let me read this one part right here. Justice for communities of color. Interesting. Let me read this here. A just approach to climate change also requires us to address its disproportionate impact on communities of color. In areas of the Bronx, air pollution is so high that residents are hospitalized for insomnia at a rate of 21 times higher than the rest of New York City. In 2017, climate change gave additional strength to Hurricane Maria as it killed 3,000 people in Puerto Rico, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's grandfather. So did she inherit her wealth, that 29 million? Where Brother Chort go? Damn. Okay. Yeah, they zapping him. I guess this is where she got uh, probably the rest of that 29 million from Pop Pop up, you know.
you sure it's not from those corny little book deals or speaking engagements and the stuff that she stood on the back of other black people in her squad that she didn't even look out for. You
I
know.
think it's all together. I think it all encompasses. Let's read a little bit more though. And here in NYC areas like Throgs Neck is kind of like a little mini suburb though, ain't it? I've
Yeah,
driven through
but she got
Throgs Neck.
that. She got that perspective, brother. Chef from Cancer Alley in Louisiana, right?
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
that's where she got that whole play from. And the other guy, I can't think of the bootlicker that was out there, but his punk ass didn't even go get what's owed to our people when it came to cancer causing chemicals that they were pumping into the atmosphere, right? That's why they call it hint Cancer Alley. And there's so many people were getting lung cancer and all different types of cancer, breast,
mm,
you name it. They were just dropping like flies from cancer, and that
mm,
was because of the chemicals that some of these corporations were pumping into the atmosphere, and they did never pay no restitutions. But yet still, she want to take that policy that was from down south, that was from black people, and put that on a POC concept and model. This woman's diabolical.
absolutely, absolutely, bro. Let me check. I see the brother Doctor Short. Can we get an audio check from you, brother Doctor Short? Let me see.
Whiteness.
There we go. There we go. That's great. Great. Okay. Brother Juan J. Johnson, are you there, sir? I just want to check your audio as well. Let's see unless they still got him zapped. Let's see. Brother Juan J. Johnson testing. Yeah, they got this. This shit is crazy.
Man, they trying to keep a strong brother down, man.
Man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love this shit. It's crazy. Um, okay.
He needs to make his wolf white. That's the
Right.
problem.
White again.
That
That's right.
that that wolf needs to be white. He's never going to make it. You know, it's sort of like having bad teeth and wanting to be a singer with close-ups and videos.
Mm.
Get a white wolf.
Well, I'll tell you, let me read this the rest of this. Throgs Next, College Point, and City Island are threatened by erosion and rising sea levels. Through the Green New Deal, principles of democratic and participatory participatory processes that are inclusive of and led by frontline and vulnerable communities and workers. We will finally guarantee clean air and water, healthy food, quality health care, and affordable housing so that the nightmares experienced in vulnerable communities may never be experienced again. I'm calling cap, and this is an immigration. Well, this is an immigrant bill. This deal that she's trying to finesse, and she's part of that. You know, she's trying to usher in that new project, ladies and gentlemen, for or quote unquote affordable housing. But she's the face they're putting out there for the new housing for the immigrants, y'all. Okay, yeah, she's gonna be the candidate of immigration. She's literally the person they want to put out in the front of cries and, of course, the mobilization of enforcing ICE and making those calls. So she's
No,
there
brother,
just to
she
be.
wants to get rid of ICE. She's trying to get rid of the. She's trying to abolish. She's a part of that movement.
No, but what I'm saying is she is the one to combat it, not be the face of it. She's the one to combat it. So anybody that
Fact.
is outraged by the mobilization of deportation, she's there to say, hey, no, come back over here to me. Come back to the blue. We're all immigrants. This is the play. Okay. So yeah, but you know what? Let me play something for everybody though. Let me make this very clear. Look at here. Look at here. Let's play this. Fair use. Fair use.
And we haven't even gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information. And Russia loves it, loves her.
And I actually think almost more than Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating. And Tulsi Gabbard's nomination, as much as she says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah.
She supports very pro-war individuals.
Including
abroad.
in Syria.
And let's be very clear, a Tulsi Gabbard nomination is a pro-war nomination globally. Point blank, period.
As is Donald Trump as president of the United States.
Fearmonger, fear.
Okay,
Get out there, Mortimer. Mortimer. Go ahead,
can
brother
I
Shaw.
just
Go ahead.
mention,
Please.
look at how Joy Reid, the camera angle, she's twice the width of Cortez.
Right.
Okay. Okay. That's number one. That one, she's a fat tether. You're a fat girl with that. And by the way, I guess she's cut off some of that blonde shit. I guess she's mad that Donald Trump won with a hairdo close to hers, so she cut her shit down. You know, that's kind of strange. But Joy Reid, first of all, is a very mannish person if you meet her in person. Very mannish. I said it. I don't give a fuck who doesn't like it. Very mannish tether. And all these wars we have right now, I mean, this woman, you know, she has the lowest ratings on MSNBC. And by the way, she's married. You know what? Only she and Roland Martin do you never see their spouse with them. What's that about? She's mannish and he's zesty. I said that too. And I said it. I don't give a damn who does it. Fuck you. Joy Reid is a liar. Joy Reid is a fraud. Joy Reid is probably the most hated black, non-FBA woman in America, and she's earned it. And by the way, it's not racist because I think a lot of black people can't stand her too. And by the way, she's with Sharpton. She's crooked. She's dishonest. And AOC, who's with the white dude who looks like, God, he looks like somebody that went through the foster care system. You never see her with her man because it would strip off all of this people of color thing. When you see this, I'm talking about this dude looks like an albino catfish with a Ronald McDonald wig on. And she's with him. So she's totally white. She's anti-reparations. She's an enemy. And I want to say this to all the stupid, dumb fuck black Americans. Fuck you and your one drop rule. You could have 100 drops If you're against us getting our motherfucking money, you're an enemy. I don't care what you are. And if an African from Nigeria if an African from Nigeria can be against reparations and you don't trust them, why are you harping on this bitch that is very unwilling to acknowledge her own partial black roots, being a goddamn Puerto Rican? Speaking of a floating island of garbage, she's the best example I've seen. In fact, she belongs in a political landfill and someone else needs to be in that position. We need to stop letting, and I'm going to say this to the dumbass black men out there. Why not use the optic nerves in your eyeballs instead of your dick? When you look at these people, they were looking at Kamala with their dick. They're looking at Michelle Obama with their dick, and they look at this thing with their dick. And yet they're all trying to cut your damn dick off. If you really liked your dick, you wouldn't like women like this. And as for black women, these same folks want to sterilize your ass. They were sterilizing black women in the California prison system when Kamala was in power. And all of you dumb hoes didn't say a fucking thing about it. That's why I call people hoes and bitches. You're inconsistent. Okay, it's your body, your choice, except for if a woman of color who identifies as black wants you sterilized. I mean, I've never met a more fucked up minded group of people than us right now. And this shit is basically, they keep introducing these people. You know, AOC never gets criticized by black people. Who, her hair's kind of dark and she's kind of tall and she's got some color. Now, fuck that. They got color in Cuba and they dog black folks in Cuba. They got color in the Dominican Republic. They got colorism. They got color in Haiti, and the white folk have everything. Black Americans are going to have to grow the fuck up or die off. The days of being stupid, everybody listening, the days of dumb fuck black people, and it's cool. The fact that you have a cell phone, you don't even need to go to a damn university anymore. You could check every fucking thing that crosses your mind if something actually crosses. You could investigate or research anybody to have some idea. Even with shit being scrubbed on the internet, you can get basic information about people. And we're not doing that. We're looking at dicks and pussies and asses and tits. We're doing everything but using
really clear about that.
Information systems to be empowered. Imagine if Harriet Tubman had GPS.
Right.
We've got GPS. What's our fucking excuse? Why do we have to keep having these damn shows? And it's not just us, it's all of these people. We're baptized in information that should be able to get niggas to turn a corner and have some common sense about shit. And yet it's like pouring water on a duck. You try to share the information and it goes somewhere else. And I'm not saying to anybody that gets it, but if you're one of those lazy, dumb fuck people out there, I'm speaking to you. Please don't write or call me. I don't want to know you. I'm sick of dumbass black people. Stupid black people need to be an endangered species. This woman is an enemy. This black and brown shit is dangerous. Abortion is murder. LGBTQ is a pathway to early death and disease. All of this kind of shit. It's eugenics. It's population control. They're at war with us. Just because we don't fight doesn't mean that they don't want to fucking get rid of us. What's it going to take effect? In the words of Lone Wolf, I'm prepared to walk over all of you folks. You need to get quadruple boosters along with your flu shot because you saw punk ass John Legend with the double Band-Aids. I think, and what's double could be by. See, he had two Band-Aids on it. That was so effeminate the way he had that thing come off his arm. It was almost like a woman's bra strap hanging off for him to show you had the two Band-Aids, and he can't sing, he can't play. His woman is weird. She talks about all of these nasty people, all this dirty shit. People should be fucking waking up. If they don't, then hell, you'll be like the fuckers on the deck of the Titanic. You're gonna get hypothermia when the icebergs hits the thing and you sink in the water and you freeze to death. You'll be a human popsicle. It's time for people to think. And by the way, I haven't forgotten about you out there with pussies, people with pussies. You're people. You're responsible for thinking. I was talking to one of our sisters, and we were just saying this whole thing about deportation, since we're on deportation. And I says, hey, look, I don't hate anybody from anywhere. I claim any family that I have. When I was in the hospital yesterday for about 12 hours, I met two sets of distant relatives. I knew from one person's last name, I knew what city their family was from, even though they were up here. Turned out I was right when we finally talked. Another group of people all from the same towns, they're all down in Carolina, right? You can hear certain things and know exactly who you talk to. I looked at their nose. I said, so you guys are in the Blackfoot Nation. I could tell by the bridge on your nose, right? But one of the things that I'm sick of is I don't hate nobody. I'm not mad at nobody, but we got to put our damn foot down. And that includes ladies knowing your place. Your place is not the soldiers of a people. If you're not on the goddamn battlefield, then that means you can't be a general. So stop trying to tell black men how we need to protect our community. Well, can you imagine someone breaking your house and your woman tells you how to fight the intruder? Well, don't hit her with... You want to fuck her out your house. Whoever told you guys that you have the right to tell us how to think and act at all times as men is a fucking liar, and we're not listening anymore. And I'm going somewhere because I had to say to a mutual friend of ours, I don't hate people from Haiti. I'm not against Haitians. I've been learning about Haitians since I was 4 years old. That's 56 years. I have Haitian family. I'm not mad at anyone. However, if you don't come here legally, if you're not aligned with Black Americans, if you don't want to be bothered with us when white folks step to you, why should I get in the middle of that when you don't help me here until it turns on you? Why are you owed solidarity that you don't show me? Am I saying all Haitians? No, but I'm saying most Haitians don't get it. I had to get my mother's banker straight the other day. You've been here 30 years and you've never had a real conversation with the Black American. That says something about you, not about us. Right. You don't know what we did to fight for your ass to be here. We treat you better than everybody else, everywhere else you go in the world, and you see us as against you. We treat you better than you treat you. But if that's not enough to get you to at least give us the benefit of a doubt, when the people who hate us turn and hate you the same way, and that's the American way, why should I align with you? What's compelling? What's in it for me? And as much as you aligned yourself with the Colombians, the Nicaraguans, the Venezuelans, the Cubans, and all the others that are against Black Americans in Southern Florida, you guys don't see yourselves as a part of us or in any way aligned or we could work together. Why am I supposed to get in the way of armed white folks fighting to protect white America when my place is secure, more or less? Why do I need more heat for people who don't want me or care about me? Up in New York, are they fighting to let Black folks go to Medgar Evers College? Are they really welcoming many people, when they have their big things, they wave all their flags and shit. Do you notice that Black Americans don't run around waving the American flag and stuff, pushing America because we understand we have American citizenship. We live here, but we don't like Iraq or Gaza or Afghanistan or Libya or Panama. What America's that we very much aware. We don't like that. We live here. We don't like the bad things about America, so we don't run around waving the American flag. America, 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 right? But yet they do that in our faces. And saying that you're not a part of me, yet you live amongst me, you get benefits. Everything you get comes off of me. And yet we have nothing in common. We can't, you don't try to understand me. And yet I'm supposed to fight for you when you encounter a problem with the people whose asses you suck like a Hoover vacuum cleaner. And you're willfully aligned to be against for your American dream. I'm not saying that people don't have the right to do that. Do you hear me, Mr. Chef C? I don't say people come here, do what you will, but your ass better be here legally. However, when the heat hits, you have to learn about racism through the school of hard knocks because you wouldn't let us tell you and you don't want to know really because you figure you can handle it, right? And it is time for us to be selfish. And for all the folks, Blacks who can't show any I'm talking about foundational Black Americans who can't show any empathy or compassion for one another, we should be equally as cold-blooded towards other people. Let them learn. In fact, back in the old days, when people learned, they had more respect for Black Americans when they were encountering racism like what we did. When we tried to make it soft for them, it's like making it too easy for a child. They don't appreciate the sacrifices and the struggle of the parent. It's time to let these people experience white America uncut for themselves, since they don't know why we're like we are, why we don't do this and why we don't do that. It's time that your ass gets some schooling. Get the fuck out of the way of the nightstick or whatever that's going to have to put some knots in someone's head for them to figure out you ain't white. You ain't Aryan. You didn't make the cut. For all the people from Brazil and other places as Black as an ace of spades that will tell you that they're white, let them learn. Stop intervening between the lessons of tough love and the hard ass that needs to be softened by reality. Are y'all hearing me? I land my plane. Let these people learn. Not because we hate them, but because more than often than not, they're either indifferent to us, or they hate us, or they're adversarial. They come here with their tribalism. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to stop, Chef C. Said this to my buddy in England from Guyana, who's a good guy. We're the only Pan-African people on the planet where all you have to do is be of any African descent and you're okay. This is the only place like this in the world. Everywhere else, your lineage, your blood, everything about you has to match up or you're an outsider. And you may never be allowed in, depending on where you are. Instead of them saying, you know what? For all the flaws in Black Americans, they've at least figured out a way, more or less, to work together to help each other and transcend color, hair, grade, religion. We've been able to at least do something that none of the other people have been able to do. Instead, they'll say we have no culture. I don't understand this. Everything's black and white to them, right?
Let him cook.
When you hear people say that, when it's not black and white in America that's set up with this black and white chessboard that we didn't set, they're saying we don't accept this black and white thing because they're into
Let
tribalism.
him cook now.
And when they're into tribalism and you're not in the same tribe as them, by definition, you're an enemy. And we need to understand that we're enemies to people that we don't have any beef with because we're not in their tribe. This is why there's such a reaction to delineation is they're realizing, oh my God, things are going to be in America for us like the places we're so proud of. We wave the fucking flags and talk shit about, right? Now, where they're going to face tribalism here in America, but it's of their own making. And so let them learn. The same way I had to get our sisters straight. Who fought for Haitians to be in America? We did. Who fought for Caribbeans to be here? We did. Who's fought for Africans to be here? We did. When did they fight for us? Who's opposing reparations? Who's opposing African American studies? Who's aligning with either super ultra right wing or black erasure liberal types over and over and over again? Who has lynch mobs that kill LGBTQ people where they come from, and yet here they push it on us?
Come on.
It's quite amazing that that this is happening, and I don't want anyone to dislike anybody. I have never done to others in these other groups what's been done to me. However, I'm almost a boomer. I'm off. The 60-year period for the Xers starts in January, just a few weeks. I will be a senior citizen within a few months. I'm not a boomer, but the boomer Pan-African fantasy extended over into the Xers, but for these younger ones who aren't fascinated, because it would be rare if you saw an African if you didn't live in New York. Now you see them everywhere. They used to be a novelty. It used to be fascinating. Wow, something in Africa, what's it like? That's over now. And I didn't say people can't come. Notice I'm not saying come legally. And at least it is not where you come from. It's how you act when you get here. We're very different from other people. Other people, it doesn't matter how good you are when you got here, you aren't from here. We're the exact opposite of all the other black people everywhere else. We now need to equalize and recalibrate how we deal with people. Now is the time to be selfish. It's now time to become delineation bitches for at least 4 or 5 years, because the minute that people find out that America is a really harsh place if you're not cool with Black Americans. In fact, pretty soon they'll be saying in their own little ethnic organizations that do not allow Black members. And I want to say to any of you, Black men or Black women, because you're married or fucking some kind of foreign Black, if we create something, you can't just drag your trick up in there because you laid up with them. White men married to Black women can't just drag their Black woman to a white-only thing. It's not accepted. There's another group of people very similar to Black Americans in certain ways. They're called the Hawaiians. They welcomed everybody to Hawaii. Now they're asked as a broke, marginal, you won't even see them in their own land of birth because they didn't learn to delineate. Our stupid asses have a choice to either exist or be obliterated. This was first brought to my attention by 2 professors from the Gambia at Howard. Dr. Suleiman Yang, you can look him up. The last name spelled Nyang, died a few years ago, and Dr. Ayo J. Langley, a great Pan-Africanist. See, I study under Pan-Africanists, brother. And my Pan-Africanist scholar friends and mentors told me, I fear for the destruction of Black Americans by the foreigners, the Africans, and the other, they're going to destroy you. I never went around thinking about that because I'm thinking everyone's Black, they're my brother, my sisters from other places. And these are Africans saying, you don't see what's happening? I'm thinking, well, why would it? Since they're erasing you. Their agenda is not to be a part or continue. Their thing is to establish their own Kenyan or whatever here, and they have a right to do that. Notice the objection to us delineating. It comes from actually from foreign blacks, not from white people. White people aren't complaining about us delineating. The struggle in Kenya for Kenyan independence came around with delineation among the Kikuyu people. And the other groups got with the whites and crushed them. Just understand what I'm saying. And they also got a bunch of coons. All of the African liberation struggles required delineation. You can't have freedom without knowing who you're fighting for and who you're fighting against. They're saying you don't have the right to know who you are or what you are because someone's raping you. It's just like those potion drinks or those tainted drinks that you get at a Diddy party. So you can't resist the date rapist. You drink from the cup of unrequited Pan-Africanism, and then everybody rapes you. And they laugh at you because they know about the video. When do we stop this? And it's going to require men and women to stop. Everybody's got to man up.
Really
ladies, like I had to say to my sister, the people that do the fighting in a war are men. And it's going to take the way that men look at things to solve it.
Let's really be clear about that.
It's not going to come from the way women look at things. And the day of us pretending that men and women are interchangeable in the black community in particular must end. Maybe some of you niggas didn't have to pay some child support or some shit that you got because that woman was playing the role of the man and the woman that allowed you to save a few dollars to put in your tank. But the day is over. And ladies, it's going to become deadly to try to be men. This thing with Whoopi Goldberg and others, as they're going to strip, as black women have stupidly allowed themselves to be the face of degeneracy and foolishness that would unravel the moral fabric of white America, the judgment is here. And if you don't have men working or walking or helping you, you are going to have an issue. You're going to need men like never before. In fact, there are 3 stages of feminist degeneracy.
Really be clear about that.
Stage 1 is we want to be equal to men. You can't be equal to a man if you're not one. Next stage, we want the same things as men. You can't because you're not a man. And then actually the stage 2 is we don't need a man. That's stage 2 of feminism. And stage 3, we are a man. Hollywood removing the Denzel Washington kiss from the movie. Even the craziest atheistical Jews understand the country is swinging in a different direction. Even if you still vote Democrat, vote blue, even if you get screwed, the whole landscape is changing under your feet. This whole feminist trans thing that they've used, and sisters thought if they could just mix it up and play to the middle and not really take a stand like that silly bitch on CNN that corrected the dude. The black brother was telling them that we're tired of all this boys and women's sports. And the woman basically tells him to apologize to the white dude who called him transphobic. All this power that you got from white supremacy, black women, they don't need you anymore. And the third step of feminism is we are men. And when you get to that step where you say you are a man, some people are going to take you seriously. And so there are 2 movements. I don't like it because I see young men dealing with women like that. They get angry, they'll shoot and kill a woman like it never happened my years. Because women have become so masculinized until the same way they'll blow away a dude, which is never anything that we cry about, although we should be upset about anybody black losing their life. It was never a big deal for men shot a man. Now men shoot women like they'd shoot a man because the women have become basically dudes with pussies. So this has happened within the black community. And at the same time, black women have become the face of the destruction of babies and all this. And if you don't have men to protect you the same way the Nazis marched in Cincinnati last night with their swastikas, the same way the Haitians are fleeing Springfield, Ohio, the same way they tried to lynch a boy in a public school here outside of Washington in Charles County, these attacks on women and children are going to intensify as people go to the right. And they have targets. They put up this cosplaying whore named Kamala, and all it's done is engendered hatred against Black women. And you guys took the bait by getting behind her. So as a result, we need that compassion for the people that are going to be deported to protect our confused sisters and our weak ass dudes who think telling a woman the real deal, which may cut them out of some pussy they didn't need in the first place, is the end of their sexual prime. This shit must end. I'm landing, brother.
Well, let me share this with you, brother Dr. Shaw. I'm going to play this. Go to the brother Wolf. Salute to our brother Wolf for finally getting through. They tried to hem him up. But, damn, where Dr. Short? Brother Short. Well, they probably hemmed him up too. But check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. Speaking of Whoopi, again, there we go. Brother Short is back in the building. There we go. Speaking of Whoopi, you know, I hope she does cut off those fucking shit dreads that she's gotten. Just like the rest of these females in this 4B movement. However, let's give a little history here. Some of the breezies back in the day that was caught giving it up or collaborating, right? They were humiliated in public at one point here. I got a clip for y'all. And I want y'all to understand something. A lot of this stuff with the white girl, with black women jumping on shit, a lot of this feminist talk has always been a battle between the white patriarchy and matriarchy. Them two going at each other. And they just so know how to use a bunch of dumb negresses, in this case, to do the bidding, because they've always wanted to be able to do the degenerate shit on the regular basis like their husbands. Okay? But no, they got shamed to doing it in the shadows. They wanted to be able to be out front with the bullshit. But when they did, they got punished. And this, ladies and gentlemen, if you understand history, then you can see the play for the future. This is history right here. Fair use.
Stating especially after the war, when you find out that your fellow countrymen and women collaborated with the enemy. This is what happened in France and the rest of Europe after the defeat and withdrawal of the Nazi forces. After France was liberated by the Allies, many women were taken to the streets where they were publicly humiliated. These women were accused of collaboration horizontale. Their heads were shaven, as to take away their most beautiful traits. Some would be painted on their naked bodies with tar or lipstick, but all of them would be paraded in the streets. Most of these so-called collaborators were simply young women who had slept with the occupying Germans. Some would even be put on parade with the babies they conceived from the Germans. Some had to sleep with Germans to get food, others fell in love, and some were forced to. To the French it mattered little, as all left then would be categorized as traitors and would be publicly humiliated. The Allies and even some French were disgusted by these acts. These actions also happened in Belgium, Italy, Norway, and the Netherlands, though in Netherlands it wasn't as wide.
What do you say about that, my brother Wolf? LWF Juan J. Johnson, how are you this afternoon, sir? Can we hear him? Let's see. Hold on. You're mute, brother Juan. You're muted, sir. Oh, they said let's mute this man.
Yeah, but you know what, Chef P? I know about this. And the horizontal means laying with. Yes. And when you're fighting a war, your pussy is the collateral of your people. It ain't your body, your choice. That's bullshit. That black man that got lynched and his organs hacked out in Alabama was with the white woman. It is not black men that are telling you who you can and cannot sleep with. It's white supremacy. Same white supremacy says kill your babies. It's interesting. Black men say don't kill the baby and think about it before you jump in bed. Oh, that's repression. But the French did this. This is a conversation I've been having for years, that America is like Vichy France. When Hitler took over France in 1940, they had northern France, or the Atlantic coast of France, and northern France was under direct control of Germany. But the Mediterranean coast and eastern and southern France, most of it, that wasn't along the Atlantic shoreboard, was under the control of a former major French leader. He's sort of like the John Lewis of France. His name is Marshal Pétain. And they worked with Hitler, and they fought against the people who were proud of being French. They were killing, sort of like our black and proud people who were betrayed by the Boule, and a lot of your asses out there listening. The French had a whole war, a civil war, to kill off the French that wanted to be French. The French that wanted to suck Germans' asses and be fascists and Nazis and kill Jews and blacks. They worked with Nazi Germany. But when the Americans and others went into France and they took down, kicked the Germans out, and took down the Vichy France. Vichy is a city in France. It's far to the south of Paris. That was the capital. Those people were punished. Vichy, or the collaborationist French under Marshal Pétain, are the equivalent of what the Boule is in Black America. And our people need a civil war. And when you have a civil war, and when you do this whole thing, when they cut, that's delineating. The people who fucked the Germans, when as many as 1 million Frenchmen were in prison, forced to work for the Germans, right? I mean, these women out fucking German soldiers, sucking dick, kraut dick at that. And their brothers are killed or in jail, like what's happening in America right now. And when the people who are serious about France and their people, they punish people. And this film is nice because they just showed them, because they killed a lot of these people. Not that I want anybody killed, but people's asses got kicked and beaten. And you know what? French women love French men because they're French and they fought for their country. You know, in our country, if we were to get stuff straight, he said so. He did it. You know, it's painful to become a people, especially when you have a lawless people with no government, no self-respect, no rules, and you got everybody doing what the hell they want. That's deadly. That's what happened in France. And so they punish people, and in Russia and other places, sometimes they just shot people. If you support other people fucking over yours, everywhere else in the world, that's a death sentence. We're the only people where we say, well, that's their choice. Well, they have to be happy. They're finding them. That's bullshit. You're quoting white feminist or white liberal gay talking points. That works for them because they're in charge. It doesn't work for us. No, I'm not telling you who to love or who to fall in love with. This isn't what we're doing. But we are saying throughout the world where you have order, for all of us who are envious of people who have cohesive cultures, it's because if you break rules, your ass gets stomped. They don't tell you, I have the right to change my mind on a woman. No, they will beat your ass, male or female. A lot of folks who didn't grow up with the father in the home, bastard boys and bastard girls, They're lawless, just like Diddy's whore-ass mother, who's allegedly in sex tapes with her son and other women. If you wonder how you got a Diddy, a lot of that starts with the mothers that raised these kids. The corruption and vileness that we don't like in our community, at least 50% or more of it is due to out of control, off-code women and the whore-ass men that laid down with them that made these kids that nobody wants. And this shit's gonna stop. Either we're gonna self-destruct as a people, or someone's gonna say we're gonna stop the madness, and we're gonna kick the shit out of the people and force their asses to get online. Because apparently, when people aren't used to discipline, you can't ask them. Like Dr. King's march through Memphis, and they're asking the people not to riot, and they were gangsters. If they'd had some people to beat some of those invaders' asses, there wouldn't have been a riot. Some people only understand force. I wish it weren't true, because I'm not a violent person. But some people only understand, I'm going to beat your ass if you do this. We're going to cut your hair off. We're going to slap your ass around. And a lot of these women that got their heads shaved gave secrets. They informed.
You didn't get here by yourself.
They informed the Germans and got Frenchmen and women who were fighting for their freedom killed. You see, this whole zaddy worship and all this bullshit, this is conditioning people to betray their own kind when things come to blow. The question is, are you a traitor to your people and to your God, or are you for your people? I land my plane.
Yes, indeed, brother Dr. Short. Let me see. Brother Juan J. Johnson is saying that was brilliant, sir. That was.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you are live, sir. Brother Juan J. Johnson has been let out of the goop.
Man.
Salute to Brother Juan J. Johnson, sir.
Look, let me give Dr. Short a round of applause.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
He was cooking with no grease.
No grease.
Just
okay. Yeah.
Look, man, he could have kept on going, man. Dr. Short.
Yes. We got exactly what he need on the screen. So once we get you in the building, we'll let him slide a touch more, spin the block in the kitchen a touch. But sir,
I didn't know that you had horror movies. Damn.
It's
Yo, that's the Predator, man. That's the Predator family. That's the Predator,
no, that's
the old
aliens.
edition.
That's aliens.
Listen, brother Juan J. Johnson, sir, are you up to speed, sir?
I believe I am up to speed.
Okay. So, based off what we just played here, one, I would like for you to touch on the AOC piece real quickly, and then we go into this 4B situation, sir. Do you believe that they are Manchurian AOC, making her the third prototype, sir? What say you?
It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me if they're trying to make her a Manchurian candidate. She ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, that's for sure. Will it succeed? Probably not, but not to be so fair, but success. But I think they tried. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll say this, sir. Now that we're moving on to that, we're into this 4B movement here. And I tell you, as soon as Donald Trump, and I'm gonna go to Brother Negro, as soon as Donald Trump was announced your new president-elect, the 4B was unleashed. I mean, we didn't even have a whole day to simmer in this shit. Okay? They rolled it out. So brother Negro, let me play this. Let me play something that Whoopi got a message for you, particularly, Brother Negro. For you, Whoopi talking to you directly, sir. Okay? So fair use here.
This. I dare, you didn't get here by yourself, man. You can't do this without us. And if we don't let you, you don't get any. It's that simple. It's that simple.
So, brother Negro, are you trying to get in there, sir?
Hell no.
The vagina,
Wait.
the
The
vagina is
crazy,
closed, sir. The
like
vagina
who
is
is she?
closed.
Like the vagina should be closed at her age. She's 69 years of age, right? Like she can't.
That's a roach motel.
Yeah. And on top of that, you starting to see the trend too. All these are small hat adjacent. That's why I'll say they small hat
Go ahead.
adjacent.
Yeah.
You got AOC small hat adjacent. You got this woman on the screen, Whoopi Goldberg or whatever the hell her name is. She's small hat adjacent. I'm just saying. But one of the things I do want to highlight is that B4 movement. I'm looking at TikTok. I am looking at TikTok. TikTok is an Asian-owned app, and I know that they're pushing that narrative, and that got infiltrated by our people. All right, it's a reason why the government want to shut down that crappy ass app in the first place because it's a cesspool.
But the people that want to shut TikTok down are Zionists because TikTok was exposing what happened in Israel. The thing about TikTok, since I got kicked off for attacking Come Swallow, they did not want Donald Trump to be president because the Chinese are about to get deported and other things. So it's not necessarily a small hat thing. The small hats want what I call TikTok. They don't have it. However, people need to understand that the small hats have a relationship with the Chinese because communism and Jews sort of like peanut butter and jelly. Sorry. Karl Marx absolutely wasn't a Black American. He wasn't from Congo. He wasn't from Bolivia. He wasn't Aymar from Bolivia. He's a German Jew. And a lot of the people that are in the communist movement worldwide heavily, I didn't say the majority or all, because no, there are a lot of people, Lenin's Jewish, a lot of people are Jewish in the communist movement, especially in the United States. So the Chinese communists were helped by Jewish communists. I mean, this is a long relationship. And we need to start understanding, and it's not just there. Jewish communists had another protege named Nelson Mandela, who's one of the fathers of feminism and gay rights in South Africa, in case you don't know this. So all of this works together, but this is a Chinese joint that may have some lox and bagels mixed in with the lo mein, but it's still mostly a Chinese dish. Thailand.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying some of those points too, Dr. Short. I'm just looking at how they're picking up a movement that's already halfway across the globe that have nothing to deal with us. But yet still these women are adopting these principles, right? And implementing against our community in a war-like tactic. Because this is a war-like strategy meant to destabilize our community.
But this
And
is a
also,
good thing. This is a good thing. We need a war in our community. The problem is, I'll tell you something about niggas. You know, when you go by a building and it has a sentry dog, you know, if those sentry dogs don't bark or bite, then your shit's going to get robbed when you go home at night, your warehouse. A sentry dog has to bite and bark. We don't fight nothing. That's why nobody respects us. Particular Black men, they're just begging for pussy, and Black women are begging to try to be seen as Black men. That's what the fuck we do. We aren't fighting for land or power. We don't fight nothing. The church don't fight for righteousness. I mean, they do everything except suck dick in the pulpit, and folks think God's presence is there. There's nothing that we fight anymore. Nobody respects a cell block bitch. There's only one way out: to keep cracking your ass open or bleed out with some razor blade, because nobody respects people who don't fight.
Fight. That's a fact, brother Doctor. I mean, listen, sometimes you got to keep it a billion with folks, man, and that is listen, I can't brother Doctor. Sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play this clip here, though, gentlemen. Brother Negro, you started to say something, sir.
yeah. I'll be really 2 seconds. Yeah. This movement mean no marriage, no girlfriend, no children, and I think I want to say no family. I think it's kind of
No,
the premise of where.
they've got
Yeah.
a girlfriend. You don't have a girlfriend.
Let's
Damn.
really be clear about that.
The bombs is dropping this afternoon. But yeah, like this is insane. Because I look at it's like I want to say this is damn near like they need to be psych eval for this nonsense. Like because they're talking about stopping human existence, and how is that not deemed crazy?
But we have to hold up the Kevin Samuels banner. We got to hold it up until we die. And what we need to have, I'm telling you, imagine if we had 1 million passport march.
Oh God. Trying to get me ran off that. They trying to get me ran off the social media air.
we have to like show people, that this idea in America, because Americans are very parochial, we don't see beyond the borders of this country. The idea, in particular among Black American women, is that it's sort of like the earth being flat, that the Pope didn't want people to go anywhere, so tell people you'd fall off the earth if you went too far. There's sort of this thing that, well, there's no pussy beyond the borders of America, and if you leave, you'll fall off into space where there's no pussy forever if you ever leave these shores. It's bullshit, but most Black men are weak. Most Black men are lazy. Most Black men are stupid when it comes down to relationships. A Black man is analogous to a person on the beach crying about the fact that sand's going to run out. Like, world's going to run out of pussy. Ooh, let me just scoop it, put in my shirt, put in my trunks, it's not going to disappear. It's stupid. Women think we're stupid for being like this. There's more than enough. There are too many fish in the sea. And there are too many bitch beta males in the sea too, which means that there's plenty. You will never be respected as a beggar. If I was on the beach begging people for a cup of sand, people would think I'd lost my mind. Why are we acting like the beach is going to run out of sand, Black men? And why would the person with the sand stand? Oh, well, $10 for a cup of sand. There's some sand everywhere. And we're lined up for the $50 cup sand. It's stupid. It's as dumb as crypto. What we're doing with this whole male female thing, it's our stupidity. These hoes don't have a monopoly. Look, these women really only have between the age of 18 and 32 to figure out what's going to go down. And the closer they get past 28, the less it's going to be. A bunch of these folks are never going to have anybody. We're about to have a demographic collapse.
Let's really be clear about that.
For all of these stupid ass women who were too good to pick a man when they were young and valuable. Nobody's going to want an old person with saggy titties and a receding hairline because all the little crazy shit they put in their hair. I mean, you have these women with balding all the time. You see these motherfuckers in church balding. I mean, young women because they've done all this dumbass shit with their hair. Who wants a bald-headed, sterile, saggy titty, fat, overly opinionated person who's got a bunch of college debt? Nobody, not even the IRS wants them. So its bottom line is that we need to start having more value on our seed. Stop treating your semen like it's manure or like it's urine. That's the problem. The Black man, he thinks his seed is urine. Well, I mean, and actually even piss has value if you know what to do with it, but we don't even get that far. These people have no standing. If a group of Black men were to basically say, let's take a pledge, none of us should fuck anybody we see with their hair bald. Those bitches will run out and buy wigs so fast. White women.
Oh, hold on, brother. Show. I can't let that go. You just gave me The alley-oop that I've been waiting for here. Fair use, sir.
First it was, we're going to shave our heads so men don't want us. Basically telling every woman that has cancer or alopecia or anything like that they're not wanted or desirable to men because they're bald, which is bullshit. There's many bald, beautiful baddies out there, okay?
All right, brother Dr. Shaw. Go ahead, sir. go ahead.
You know what? In antiquity, prostitutes
Yeah.
and idol worshippers and folks that were worthless had their hair shaved. In fact, it's even in the Bible. It teaches against women having bald heads. So being bald-headed is a sign of decadence. The covering of a woman's head was her grace. That's part of it, and that's throughout the world. So, I mean, I'm sorry, feminists, and that's the reason people talk about alopecia, women's hair disappearing, bitch. So it's all about having hair on your head. That's part of how you differentiate men from women is hair. Not just on your head.
Hold on.
Let's really be clear about that.
Go ahead, brother Dr. Shaw. Yeah.
That's part of what differentiates. Isn't it interesting that these women keep trying to remove what distinguishes men from women while demanding attention and rights and recognition based on the distinction? This is some fucking mass psychosis, and it's men's fault to let women get away with it. Either if you're a damn woman, then be one. Act like one, and that includes motherhood and shit. And yes, we can say and define. They define what a man is. They define a man as a provider. You say, well, how do you define? Well, yeah, I can't define a woman. Basically, the reason that you can't define a woman is I don't want to be accountable. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want to love. I don't want to be a mother. I don't want to be a wife. I don't want, just give me your money and pleasure me and let me figure this shit out. Well, it doesn't work because they're now all these women, black in this country, over 1 million, 60 years old. They have no children, no parents. They're alone. They're at the mercy of the people in these assisted living places because nobody was good enough. When you refuse to figure out that men have value, your ass at some point gets canceled out. What happens to a lot of these people that are subjects to home invasion? People come in and kill you or take your shit. Nobody even know you're gone because you thought that the one thing that you could do that distinguishes you from men, which is to be a mother, to be a wife, to contribute something to society, because lots of men can work for a law firm or work for a bank. But no man can be a mommy. No man can be a grandmommy. The shit that you can do, they completely fucked these jobs up. The family is dying. Society is dying because we've been running after this goofy, greasy goose bullshit game that these feminist whores have been pushing. And by the way, all these sorry ass women that don't want to be moms and wives, all these bitches on psychotropic drugs because they're miserable. It's the same way that gay people lie about violence and other shit and how everything is shaved in society in the news to make it seem as if that shit works. But let me just give you guys a testament. I went to the hospital yesterday because I had blood in my stool, and I don't care if it's too much fucking information. But the great news, I went there because I knew it had to be some serious medical thing, but not because I had it blown out at a party. Let me be very clear to you that the people who are making it out, when you go to a hospital and they check for AIDS and all this other stuff, it's because these deadly lifestyles are so common now. That's some of the first thing people look for. It was actually a relief when they went through all the blood work and they made us wait for hours because I had blood in the stool. So you know what they're thinking. Oh, faggy. Well, my mother was there. There was not one problem wrong with any cut. Everything's fucking normal.
Let's really be clear
But normally, because so many people live these very dangerous lifestyles, they had to go through all these extra changes to check because these lifestyles that they're telling us are wholesome and healthy are deadly. Suicide for women is up. And they don't talk about, they're talking about like 80, 90, 100,000 people dying from fentanyl poisoning, opioid poisoning. And they just talk about that. But you know what? Over 100,000 women die from alcohol poisoning every year because they drink themselves to death. It's not discussed. These women are miserable. You broads are miserable, trying to work against God and his natural order. And the only way that you will find fulfillment and happiness is in the divine will of God. And if you should marry and get a man and a husband and be a mother, there is some satisfaction and fulfillment that does not come through fucking the boss for your promotion and your bonus, but being a mother and being a grandmother. And there now 40% of women are missing out on what life is all about, trying to prove that they're men with pussies, and a strap-on won't cut it.
Right. Hold on. Let's keep these trains moving here. Brother Juan J. Johnson, sir. What does the scripture say about this here?
I dropped 2 great scriptures inside the chat. And the first one dealt with Genesis 1:28, about God telling us, basically, he blessed man and woman. And God said to them to be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth, subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves. And I posted that because 4b is in direct opposition to the scriptures.
Come on.
4b goes against be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. This feminist piece is deadly, family. Not just deadly, it's demonic. Not just demonic, it goes against the scriptures. Not just goes against the scriptures, it goes against God. And anybody who pushes this, you're saying, I don't care about what you're saying. I got a problem with God. You know, I drop another scripture that says, I think that's in Corinthians, deal with do not withhold sex from one another unless you both have agreed to devote a certain period of time to prayer. Again, that whole we're not going to have sex. If you're in a relationship, if you're married, you don't have no business as a woman or male withholding the sex because of some vote, some selection, because of some whatever reason you think is right. If you are a follower of the revolutionary Jesus, you're out of order.
Come on, Kamala, help him out. Help him
Let's
out.
really be clear about that.
God, dog. Hey, brother Wolf, man, let me gunshot Wolf for that. You listen, y'all. Brother Wolf, this is part of the reason why, and this is you see, this scripture right here. This word could have saved or prevented a lot of trauma, particularly in the cases where men don't weaponize their sex, women do.
Yes, they do.
Let's really, Kamala, help me out.
Let's really be clear about that.
Men do not weaponize collectively. Let's be very clear. Like women do, because that 9 times out of 10 is all women have. And that is their way of buck breaking or disciplining or punishing their husband.
Or ball breaking.
Come on. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm man enough to be honest about this. This is something I experienced in my previous marriage. This right here is what a nigga experienced. The withholding. It was, and I was, you know what, man? And I wasn't even the religious part of the party of the union. This one was in the church 24/7.
But out of order.
She's in the church, but she's not in God. They're 2 different things.
Kamala, help us all out.
Let's really be clear about that.
So no, there's a difference. In fact, a lot of these women, which are the church is a source of rebellion rebellion, which is why you now have a lot of these managed women preachers. I mean, a lot of them look like water buffaloes with weaves, and and they even have their voices deep, and it's kind of sad. I mean, it's sort of like it's almost like a trans clown show that you see these women trying to be managed as ministers. I'm not saying that women can't be involved. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the women that try to be macho because they figure they want the authority of a man and be a woman at the same time. Now, imagine if a man were wearing women's dresses and shit up in the pulpit, it would be seen as inappropriate. But a woman trying to wear pants acting like a dude is seen as okay. This is part of what I don't like about Black American men. We don't insist that women be women. We are too fucking flexible. We're pathetic. We're despicable. We have to stop. You're my woman. You need to dress like a goddamn woman. What do you dress like a dude for? I mean, a dude can't. I mean, and then it's gotten so crazy until now the women ask the men to wear women's clothes. Well, I have a men's clothes, so you can wear women's clothes. Oh, well,
Diabolical.
And it's despicable. It must be stopped. We don't like it. We hate it. And yes, it's phobic, and it's fuck you phobic. Okay, we don't care about what you think. We're not going to give up who we are as men to suit some racist ass liberal who's getting his ass blown out of the glory hole. Fuck you.
Really be clear about that.
Kamala can help us out in that conversation. Salute.
So it's really.
Well, hold, I gotta wake this up one more time. This is the Brother Wolf. I know there's more than likely millions of men out there who aren't even aware of this very scripture, but they're supposed to be living in a religious home. Okay, and not getting no cheeks from their wife. Getting zero, they not touching the bottom. No ass is clapping, nothing.
Brother, somebody else is clapping the bottom. See, that's the other conversation that nobody ain't talking about. If you ain't hitting it, somebody else is.
But you know what, Doc? Even if that's the case, right?
Come on.
Someone else is hitting it. The woman that you marry, or the male, or whoever you marry,
whatever,
they are out of order.
Under God, the word.
God. Okay. Now, what happens in the culture happens in the culture per se. Okay. But when it comes into, when it creeps into the church, we got a problem, a major problem.
It
you know what? And you know what? Hold on, brother Short. And when I think we've all said this, gentlemen, that a lot of women are truly atheists presenting as Christians. Can we be honest about this today, gentlemen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Christian presenting out here.
Oprah Winfrey. That bitch, okay. Oprah Winfrey, Iyanla Vanzant, almost all of these women are talking all this motivational shit. They are unbiblical witches, and they are not popular in Africa and a lot of other places. And you know what? Again, because of the no good, often bisexual, Masonic, or Boule preachers, they let this stuff in the church to be cool. Because these women keep their legs and their purses open. And maybe their jaws too. I mean, at least you got to do 3 of the holes, right? And so this is how this stuff comes in. Plus, the women know the secrets and all. So I'm not going to tell anybody what you did to so-and-so's son that was a young organist. But, we want to have Women's Day, and we want to have a prophetess. I mean, who taught this nigga? How do we know she's legit? I have seen this in so many instances. You talk to these women who call themselves Christian about God, and they have all these unbiblical interpretations of stuff because they feel, and God came and talked to me and told me that, well, the Acts of the Apostle isn't really a book he put in there. And all these women, oh, that's so interesting. They can hear any lie that a woman says, they take to heart. And yet the same book that's been around 2,000 years I mean, you got to sit down and read it and show it to them. And you know what? Let me just say this, and I'm gonna make some enemies. I don't care. Look, when do you know a woman's pregnant, guys? How can you tell a woman's pregnant?
When she don't have her period and she's showing, one of the two, right?
Okay, so why is it that women need a fucking ultrasound to decide whether to get an abortion or not? We see a woman with a belly that we assume she's pregnant. Why does a woman 8 months need to see an ultrasound to know it's a baby? And you're a man supposedly with no fucking intuition or no sensitivity or no empathy that the goddamn liar feminists tell us men don't have what women have. We see a woman showing, we assume she's with child. This woman has to see an ultrasound of the baby before our ass even believes that she's fucking pregnant. Shit's getting big and everything. You know why? Because there's something spiritually lacking in ungodly women.
Listen, hold it right there, gentlemen. Now we... Well, hold on. Brother Negro dropped a couple scriptures in there. And why, Brother Negro, so we can bring these scriptures up, sir, why did he drop those scriptures in particular, sir? Walk us through this, Brother Negro. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, I got several of them. I got the Deuteronomy 22:5. It is interesting that God, wait, I'm sorry about the dogs. It is interesting that God did not take cross-dressing lightly. God calls it an abomination for a man to dress like a woman or for a woman to dress like a man. The churches would...
is an abomination.
And wait, I'm gonna drop the uppercut too. Wait, God is a good man, especially the Negro one. Abomination for men. For you already got that. The churches would do well if it take it more seriously than we do in modern day unisex society.
That's it.
Another one I got is First Timothy 5:3-15. Teach young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chastity, keeper at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the Lord God and also that the word of God be not blasphemed. So I'm hearing that this woman's blaspheming.
Sober. Think about the word sober. It means that you shouldn't be drunk off of feminism or drunk off of divine feminine or drunk off of pussy power or drunk off it's my body. Sober-minded means that your brain shouldn't be fucked up. It shouldn't be contaminated. Like a woman that needs a goddamn ultrasound to know it's a baby. All of a sudden, everything that let women know since the beginning of time that they were pregnant doesn't mean a goddamn thing to the 40% or more of black women that get the abortions in this country, that they don't believe it's a damn baby unless they see it on ultrasound. That is a godless individual. That is a wicked woman.
Well, gentlemen, watch this. Watch this now. Hold on. We may be looking at the return of scripture to the classroom. Fair use.
I'm excited to announce today that Oklahoma is the first state to bring the Bible back to the classroom. Today, we purchased over 500 Bibles that will be in the AP government classrooms across the state. Bible just like this. We have the Bible, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. These are foundational documents in our nation's history. Our kids have to understand the role the Bible played in influencing American history. It's very clear that the radical left has driven the Bible out of the classroom, which leads to a lack of understanding of American history. We will not stop until we've brought the Bible back to every classroom in the state.
Now, I play that clip,
they're
gentlemen.
teaching.
Well, hold on. I play that clip, gentlemen, to say that the scripture you gentlemen shared here, do you anticipate, Brother Negro, then I go to Brother Wolf, then I go to Brother Short. Do you anticipate those particular scriptures being taught, right, in the schools or is it going to be more? Has the pulpit print moved to the school now? Has he packed up? As he dropped the church and moved to the classroom? What say you, brother Negro?
I look at this as some white. I look at this as some nationalism being taught in the community. That's how you got it on Dr. Short though. I just want to give you a heads up, good brother.
Oh, my fault. Oh yeah. My fault. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's all love.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
It's like how I'm looking at it. You see that white man in the video, family. See. I make sure I got the image. Every time I gotta switch up my gear. I gotta tell y'all some little history. And that picture right there is one of our descendants. I want to say it's Nat Turner out there preaching, right? And in that congregation was a white man making sure that he didn't step outside of the lines of that slave Bible. So that's our history right there. So that's why I see an extension of that. Since they can't really get to the old timers or the people that are our age with the good book, they're going after our young ones and they corrupting their minds with it. So I have a very my perspective is that let us take care of the history. Let us take care of the religious component and the cultural component, and keep it to the reading, arithmetic, and all that other nonsense. Anything outside the scope of that, I do have a serious issue with, and how it's being presented, because they're not going to be talking about reparations in the Bible. They're not going to be talking about restorative justice in the Bible.
Hold on, brother Negro.
But they'll say that that's woke culture.
Well, hold on. Let's stop right there. Proverbs 14:9, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Fools mock at reparations, but among the upright there is favor. The heart knows its own bitterness, and with its joy no one else can share. The household of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. Will we see this scripture in a classroom near him?
No. What I think, I don't think that they're even gonna be messing around with the King James version like that. One of the things I'm kind of nervous is these NIV, the new edition. I forgot the correct term, but you got the NIV Bibles. You got all these other different types of Bibles that's not the good book King James version Bible, which is a difference because it has a difference in meaning.
NIV is nigger ignorant version. Nigger ignorant version. The new international version, it's nigger ignorant version. It's scum. It's written by the people that did the NIV were Luciferians, and so literally you need. I mean, if you have the NIV, I mean, it's shit. I mean, and it starts getting soft around sexuality and shit. They've got people now creating, like, there's a whole gay Bible. The person that helped me get into divinity school wrote it. It's called the Queen James Bible. They have a gay Bible. You have Bible, dick sucker Bible, literally. I mean, this is happening. They have been attacking religion. But anyway, I'm sorry. But NIV, nigger ignorant version.
Yep, and he's speaking truth to power to that. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because I remember when I was coming up as a young brother in the Word of God. The NIV had a lot of things that I feel like leads you right to hell. It doesn't lead you into liberation of our people. It doesn't. It's a whole lot of things that they bastardize and try to quote unquote modernize these type of terms and concepts, which overall distorts the value of what's being taught.
Because it's
shout out to
on a bullshit manuscripts. Anyone that knows the Bible knows that it's fraudulent. But people that want to suck dick and be studs and are Satanists, it's literally people that hated Christianity that put the NIV together. This is crazy. I mean, it's known, but you see, Christians are lazy, especially white Christians. And black Christians are lazier because they're copycats of white Christians. Then their main job is to fight to hold black people down, to mess over other people and justify stealing everybody's shit since the late 1400s. It's not about Jesus. I mean, nominally. I mean, if he's God, if he's kicking black people in the ass and helping them take their money. But don't you tell me what to do with my dick or my slaves or my kids. So we don't really have real true orthodoxy for many people. Or you have conditional orthodoxy. Orthodoxy meaning that you do it exactly like you're supposed to. And that's how you get a United Methodist Church, which is now gay affirming, and they're teaching that Sodom and Gomorrah, that's wrong, and the angels should have left those guys alone, and, you know, what's his name? Lot should have let the angels just get themselves some. I mean, they could have helped the people out. Right. This is the kind of stuff that's masquerading as Christianity. It's disgusting.
Well, I'll say this, gentlemen. You know, we have. Well, I want to hear from the brother Wolf real quick. Brother Wolf, I mean, listen, sir. Is this white Jesus on the hourglass, or is this the return of the revolutionary, the Jesus the Christ, into the classroom? What say you, sir?
Well, this is definitely not the revolutionary Jesus in the class, for sure. It's not that. They're not going to teach the revolutionary Jesus at all.
Let's really be clear about that.
Come on.
Again, white folks are realizing, just like black folks, that we have a lot of corrupted people in our collective. I just posted to back up what you said about the food and about reparations. I posted just now that the fool have said in his heart that there is no God. The fool, the ones who won't give the reparations are fools. And the ones who really believe there's no God, they're fools. They are corrupt. They continue. I'm gonna add, they have done and continue to do abominable works. Okay, and there is none that doeth good. The Lord looking down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand. And we are here, the
Let's
understood
really be
ones,
clear about that.
because we are still seeking God. Okay, so I don't think that they're going to talk about the Jesus that I talk about, because when I close my eyes, I see stuff. I see woolly hair, black skin like bronze, hair like wool, and in the voice of many waters. I don't see Michelangelo's creation.
Come on.
I don't see that. I see something so black and massive like myself, you know. But that description is in Revelation. Okay. Must I post that too? Let me post that.
Yeah, post. Let's not play with it, man. It's Sunday. We got the, you know, listen, they done made this one easy for us. You know, Bible back in the church. Come on. Listen here. Yeah. But, you know, Brother Dr. Short, sir, I mean, listen. Revolutionary or going back to the original roots of Bible indoctrination, sir. What say you, sir?
I say neither, because who's going to teach those classes? They're teachers unions and teachers associations and PTAs. These are the same people. Oklahoma borders Texas, where the textbooks teach that unpaid interns pick the cotton. The Bible says that Satan, you know, lies, is a deceiver of the brethren. If they have the same spirit to justify slavery and genocide, it can't be revolutionary, conservative, no kind of Jesus. This is Molech. This is Satan. See, the Bible teaches most of the New Testament, and if truth be told, most of the biggest chapters in the Old Testament, aside from Psalms, are the prophets. Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah. And if you get all the prophets together, the main theme in the Bible is false teaching. over and over, false prophets, over and over and over and over and over and over again. The crime that Jesus committed is he's a false prophet, a false Messiah. I mean, it's all about false teachings, false teachers. I didn't say Jesus was a false teacher. I'm saying that's what they offed him for, claiming to be the Messiah, right? So these people are false teaching. Let me share with you why. The basis of white Southern evangelicalism, according to their Michelangelo, their Einstein, is Robert Dabney, a racist white minister from Virginia who taught that abolitionism was a sin against God. Black slavery, that includes rape and abuse and everything, was the will of God. So what happens to us is God's will. That means bombing the girls at 16th Street Baptist Church, assassination of Dr. King, all of this. In fact, you know who's wrong? The people that don't want to be slaves. That's evil. So the fundamental basis of these people is that, one, Jesus said the fulfillment of the whole law is loving neighbor as self. And yet the basis of their religion is hatred of 95% of humanity based on how they look. If you're of God, you're like God. To be God-like is to be godly. It says in Samuel, man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. Racism looks at the outward appearance, and God looks at our soul, which means that somebody isn't truly a Christian. And I will go further. I will go further to say to you, who's going to fight and pay for the legal suits to oppose this thing that they're going to do in Oklahoma? I'm going to tell you. Atheistical Jews. These same people who claim to know Jesus Christ,
Really be clear about that.
who claim to be Christians, support every time a Palestinian gets a broom stuck in his ass while under the detainment of the Israeli government, that's the will of God. For these men to be screwed in the behind, for their organs to be taken, for boys and girls to be molested by Shin Bet in Israel is God's will. It's God's will to drop a 5-ton bomb on a Christian family. Most people don't know 25% of Palestinians are Christians. Christians who Bible believers are being slaughtered and exterminated. And that's not wrong. These people, the same way it's not wrong to bomb or burn a black church in America, it's not wrong to bomb or burn a Palestinian church in Palestine. In fact, they see it as God's will. This is a very strange God of these white Americans, a God of hate, a God of genocide, a God that hates reparation, a God that doesn't even fit his own Bible. But they say so. And the Bible says there's a way that seems right to a man, but that way ends in destruction. Does it not, Brother Lone Wolf?
Death.
We're looking at the destruction of a people who claim to know God, but they don't. Because evidence of it would be if the scripture teaches reparations, and it does. Why are you against it? If the scriptures teach love neighbor as self, why are people still being hung and lynched in America? Why are people being executed, submitting to law enforcement officers, and you'll never hear any of these white evangelical churches say it's wrong? But let's go better. People say that Zionism works with Christianity, even though Zionism is an atheistical ideology that does not recognize Jesus Christ as God and Savior, Lord and King. It does not. Okay, which means that this Judaism that these people say represents Judeo-Christian culture, there's no such thing. Jews use that to get something, but they don't believe in that because Jews who follow the Talmud believe that Jesus Christ was a bastard of a Roman soldier who screwed Mary His name is Pantera. You don't have to
Really be
believe me.
clear about that.
Look it up. Judaism is anti-Christian. See, the Bible says if you deny that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, you have the spirit of the Antichrist. Well, Judaism denies that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. That's why they crucified him. Judaism, by definition, is anti-Christ. So these same people who support the Zionists in Israel, and by the way, Tel Aviv, which is getting bombed, and I don't want anyone to get bombed by Hezbollah because I'm not a Muslim, I'm a Christian. I don't want Christians and Jews or Muslims. I don't want anyone fighting. We want to be at peace with everybody and walk humbly before God is what we're asked to do, not to hate. That's why you hear me say whites aren't this. You don't hear me say white people stink. Like, I don't do that. Notice that, Chef. I never have a conversation just going on. I know too much about my own family to talk like that. It's the same way I didn't tell you about my mother's friend who's mad at me for attacking Kamala. Proceeds to tell me when I denied
Really be clear about that.
Kamala being black, she started ranking on what my family looks like. In other words, your father's dark, but I know what the rest of your family looks like. You are in no position to talk about Kamala. In other words, the people that really know our families know what some of us look like. We could be called other things, but my point is, therefore, I don't play this game about purity and all that because I'll get busted. Anybody that knows anything about us, someone will say, you look like this, but what does your grandfather look like? What does your nigga, please? You guys just became black in the last 50, 60 years. Not that I agree with that, but you get my point. So I don't play this game about color because it never works. The minute I think I figured out what I am ethnically, not that I'm not black, but just what the mixture is, there's another group of people that don't look like what I expected. So I've come to just say, I like me, I like what it is, I identify as black, but I don't sit down and say, whitey this, whitey that. Same way going to the hospital, those of us who, in my family, who have extreme light sensitivity because of our ethnic mix, my mother almost crashed in the car because the sun shines too bright. So I get it. That's why I don't say stuff about ice people and snow people, because it'll bite me on the ass. So I've learned to just, let's be honest that there are no pure races and that there's only one race, one God, one creation, one blood. Now, having said that, let me get back and say that these Zionists, Israel is the most gay-friendly country in the world. That's just a fact.
Really be clear about that.
If LGBTQ is an abomination, why is Israel the main country, one of the main countries that's pushed alongside the United States for sodomy to be legalized everywhere? How many people know that? In fact, I tell this to my Christian conservative friends, and they're liars because they get Jewish money or they get white Zionist Christian money and don't want to talk about it. They don't talk about apartheid in Israel against black Hebrews or black Jews or whatever. So they hate, they kill, they destroy. They do not believe in God. 75% or more of people in Israel are atheists. So how is it a holy land? And how are you claiming that God gave you land and you don't believe in that God? You say there's no God, but you have the right to land based on an agreement God gave thousands of years ago, but you don't believe God exists? Isn't that confusing? Mind you, you didn't hear me say people don't have a right to be there. I'm only questioning, why would an atheist preface a Bible so they can put a broom in someone's ass? I'm just asking. I mean, is that right? Does God want them to put a broom in someone's ass? I hope not. I hope that the God I serve doesn't want people doing stuff like killing and raping children and thinking it's funny. Is this God? Is that the second commandment? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So these same people, when they talk about this Bible, it's from a evangelical Nazi perspective. And that same perspective existed in the most similar societies like in England, where you had genocide of the Australians and the people in New Zealand and the people in Kenya and the people in South Africa, or and their other country, Germany, which has a lot of Holocaust too. These people's religious institutions always facilitated them mass murdering people and stealing. It says in John 10:10, Satan comes but to kill, steal, and destroy. Hasn't that been their relationship with us as blacks and Indians and the intermixture of black, Indian, and European and more? So the Bible says you can tell a tree by its fruit. If we can tell a tree by its fruit, why do we have to fight to get voting rights every so many years? Why is there discrimination between black vets and white vets? Why do black vets, truly patriotic, commit suicide at 900 times that of white vets? Why are we 50% of the homeless people? Why are we disproportionately on food stamps? Why are our homes appraised at 1/3 the value, not on the appraisal rate of the house, but because of the cover of the people? This whole country is set up around spiritual wickedness in the name of these same evangelical people who butcher whoever they want to, whenever they want to. These same people are not anti-abortion because blacks are 40% of the abortion. They're anti-abortion because the white population's dying. In other words, they don't mind 40%. They would love for that number to be 100% black abortions. These people, when they start talking about God, they're talking about Wotan. They're talking about something from Scandinavia, something from the Moors of Scotland. They're talking about Thor. They ain't talking about Jesus. They're not talking about the Jesus that says, love neighbor as self. Not a Jesus that says, take care of the poor. They're not. That's not theirs. Were it so, in the heart of the Bible Belt, the brother that you were talking to, the one that didn't give money for the Patriarch Summit, who calls to tell me about the 3 or 4 black churches that have been burned in Kentucky since you and he spoke this year. Who burns churches? There have been hundreds and hundreds of black churches burned. Who burns churches, bombs churches? Who steals children from black families? Almost basically 15% of black children are stolen from their families. Where is the outcry, the human trafficking, all of this? Do you know where a lot of the porn and all this stuff and Disneyland, that's in the Bible Belt? Where are these people? Whenever these people support the war in Vietnam, and which maybe 6 million Vietnamese people were destroyed, don't you think their 6 million counts as much as the 6 million in Europe that were Jews, or the Cambodians that were killed, or the Laotians that were killed, or the 2 million Indonesians that were killed, or the 20 some odd million people killed in America's proxy wars following World War II? There's no criticism of murder, death, destruction. In fact, I will give you, there's a guy by the name of Rios Montt. You don't know about him, but let me tell you about Rios Montt. Rios Montt was the first evangelical president of, I believe, Guatemala. And he was president as they killed hundreds of thousands of Guatemalans that were Maya in our lifetime. But he could quote scripture, say Jesus, speak in tongues, and mass murder people. And so these evangelicals have very bloody hands. Evangelicals like the government of Brazil. When the government of Brazil wanted to repress the people, they brought in these evangelicals to fight the black movement. So every time I see them move, I agree with them sometimes, but a lot of times their politics, their practice has a lot of blood and murder in it. And God is a God of life, hope, joy, and redemption. You can tell a tree by its fruit. If it's a bloody tree, it's Satan's tree. If it's a life tree, it's Christ's tree. So, and Oklahoma, the same state in which they put people through such changes to prove their heritage, it's the same state. Wasn't that the place where they were killing off all the Cherokee and Osage Indians? Then they stole all the land from the people and did their own little genocide to get rid of people. Yes, they did. So you think about the history and Black Wall Street, right? We just had them where they refused to deal with the little genocide they did to an entire Black community. The people aren't doing anything for an organized mass genocide of an entire Black community. They're not worthy of reparation. And this person's going to teach the Bible, sir? This person that thinks every person slaughtered in Gaza or Lebanon deserves it? That's a strange God. It isn't the one I believe in. And I want to say this to anyone listening. To all of you that were morons that gave up on revolutionary Jesus Christ because you saw people malpractice Christianity because your ass didn't dig deep. And maybe some of you are moosies now, which is equally crazy towards Black people, although y'all lie about it because they'll kill your ass if you tell what you find out once you come in. You need to really find out what it was that your Negro ancestors believed in that helped them do a lot better with a billion% less than what we have now. They did so much better than what we're doing now with none of what we've got now. What helped them? And it was nothing but the hand of God. It's the hand we spit on and that we reject. And this is why we're down Schitt's Creek as a race, because you can't get nothing done without the Most High God, whether you think so or not. And so I land my plane, but I don't trust those people to teach anybody about any kind of God that's real. Because if you don't love nobody, you don't believe nothing. It says they will know we're Christians, that we are compassionate, that we love, that we care about people. And it says, whatever you've done for the least of them, and let me paraphrase it. Whatever you've done for the people you consider inferior, it's what you've done unto me. Well, they consider us inferior. What have they done for us?
Nothing.
Then they ain't Christian.
Let's really be clear about that.
Doc, you cooking today. You cooking.
No. Listen. I mean, you know, brother Dr. Short, sir, do you got the ingredients for your pie, sir? Or did you start that? Or did you start it today, sir?
Well, you know, I'll treat you right. We've always got something.
Yes, sir.
But we need to really be straight about all of this. We absolutely owe the Most High the respect that the Most High is due.
Facts.
By not ascribing righteousness where it doesn't apply. We're told not to do that. It says, what is it? What's it? Be ye not ashamed, a workman rightly dividing the word of truth. We're supposed to know enough about the Bible to see a phony, to see a racist, to see a liar. You can see a pedophile or a predator like T.D. Jakes.
Jamal Bryant?
Yeah, all of them. If you look at the scripture, it tells you everything. Nothing's hidden. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is hidden. The Bible says if you don't know in James, ask God, he'll tell you. There's nothing that you can't know. The Christian religion is not based on mysteries. That's satanic. Anybody talking about special powers, mysteries, if you come to me and you give me X number of dollars, you're going to That's not what we believe. Everything is supposed to be shared. Everything. So I don't hide stuff. If the Negro call me, I tell them what I know. And if I can't find it, I'll send them somewhere to look for it. Never, oh, well, it's just for us to know. That is religion, Luciferianism, where something is so complicated that you can't get it. Not so. It's done basically. The greatest teacher, Paul the Apostle, always made everything simple. He boasted about not dressing differently so the people could. No, I'll take it. So the people wouldn't think of him as more than just an ordinary person that got a revelation. You're not supposed to see all these $15 million robes. There's a pastor that had a $15,000 robe on. What do you need that for? What does that have to do with anything? Paul didn't call himself anything but by his first name, right? This is supposed to be a people-friendly, liberation-friendly tradition that anyone could understand, that anyone could master. And it's pretty straight. And again, back to the people in Oklahoma, you can tell what people believe by how they treat others. That's all you need. So as much as I offend feminists, anybody that knows me, I have more women friends than I can shake a stick at. If I were out here ripping up and hurting womanhood, just because I hate feminists doesn't mean I mean the women, someone would be able to say, he did this, or he did that, or he lied about this, or he did, and you won't find anybody. Keep looking, Chef. Every time you see me, you'll see me around a whole bunch of sisters. Why? Because folks are respected. I don't hate women. I, in fact, love them, especially when they're trying to be women. What we're saying is we don't want women to be dudes. We're never going to accept that. That will always be unacceptable. We don't care what their feminist allies say. It will never matter to us what feminists say. But back to this. Oklahoma has a very bloody history. It's bad. And so I don't believe them. The fact that the churches in Oklahoma didn't rise up and say, these Black women that have lived 100 years, we should do right by them. God let them live 100 years, more than 100 years, thinking that justice would be served, and these people didn't do it. So let me tell you what's going to happen with that. That effort to bring the Bible back, without it truly being for justice and fairness, will fail. They will get sued, and they'll be betrayed by their Zionist allies. The very people whose behinds they kiss because they pretend that people from Turkey and people from Russia are Hebrews who give money to Bishop.
When these people start raising sand, these folks will be ashamed and they'll run. They will not stand up for the Bible. Because if you don't believe it,
Did I miss something, guys?
Can you hear me?
I hear you, but I'm waiting on Chef and the doctor.
Chef said he has lost control of his of the system. He can hear anything. He's in the private chat talking about he couldn't hear nothing. And he said he may have to close the show out. But I said, I hit him. I said we can hear. I think he's back. Chef, can you hear?
Hey, brother Chef, because I do want to cook though. I sent the brother an article in regarding to finding out what Bible they're using. They're using the King James Version, so they definitely know about reparations. So maybe this is a chance for us for the lineage based community to get on code and using religion as one of our swords. Using the good book and the faith as one of our swords to get that restitution and that repairing.
I don't disagree with you, brother Negro. I'm hearing from the chat. They say they don't hear no sound.
Oh,
I hear you. We hear each other.
Hey, Dr. Short. Oh man, Dr. Short popped in and he was out.
He's back. He's back. Doc keep popping and popping out. Chef C, can you hear anything? Well, look at Negro. We're still live because folks are still in the chat saying we're still cooking. I can hear you. Okay, look at so we're still live. We're still live. Man, Chef, I don't know what to say. But they are still listening. Man, Dr. Short was cooking. But I agree with Dr. Short, if you can still hear me. It could be just
I can. White woman to you.
Yeah, we're still live, Doc, except for, we're here. We got some problems with the...
Oh, yeah, well, no, look, I had the conversation you're not supposed to have.
Right.
I did it on purpose. Just to let people know, it's everything I'm saying is common knowledge. Nothing that I'm saying can't be proven. And let me repeat.
But Chef can't hear nothing. Chef is so. Okay. Chef, we're still open. You may have to just type, Chef. You may have to just type.
Just so you know that the Talmud teaches that Jesus Christ is cooking in a crock pot of excrement in hell. That's what their holy book teaches. And most people who call themselves Christian are morons. They're stupid. They actually think that the Old Testament is a religious book of Jews. It isn't. The authoritative book of Jews is a Talmud, which teaches that Mary was a whore and that Jesus was a witch who's in hell cooking in bowel movement. Now, how can you be for the Bible and you're aligned with that? The scriptures say, how can two walk unless they agree? How can you walk with anti-Christians unless you're anti-Christ? And how can we prove that they're anti-Christ? It says, if you love Christ, you'll keep his commandments.
Mm-hmm.
His commandment is to love. Well, aren't they racist? So, there you have it.
And look here, Doc. He doubled down and said, a new commandment I give unto thee. I mean, he doubled down and says that you love one another as I have loved thee. And by this love, all men should know that you're my disciples when you're able to show love one to another. That's why it's not going to work, because they're not even practicing the new commandment.
No, why? For remember something. People need to remember the Good Samaritan. That story was basically Christ taking someone that he knew these people hated and picked an inferior person and made the inferior person the hero and told them to be like the inferior person. Do ye likewise. In other words, do like the nigger.
That's basically, he's better than you are. Do you realize why people would be angry about that story? How dare you lecture us? How dare you tell us how to act? How dare you pick a person? And if you go back to the story of the Samaritan, it wasn't ordinary people who left the Samaritan to die. Left the fellow Hebrew to die. It was the religious leadership who left the man to die on the side of the road. The ritually impure person that they preached against had more love and more decency than the religious stars of the universe. Remember that. So what's it saying? So we're seen as the trash of this society. We are. And the scriptures have a different take.
That's right.
The scriptures don't see us as the trash. The scriptures see the people that don't love and care as the trash. False practitioners.
Hey, I put something in the jumbo in the comment section. Now, I wanted to ask you guys this, including you, Dr. Short. What are your thoughts on these Native American tribes? Because they really popping out in Oklahoma. What is their thoughts of it? Because I've been trying to Google, and I'm surprised that them and the Zionist people are not up in arms, specifically them two communities in Oklahoma about this situation.
Well, first and foremost, I don't care so much about Native Americans because I'm not one. Okay, that's my first answer. Number two, Native Americans is used for the people who lived in teepees. My people who were Aboriginals didn't live in teepees. People who live in teepees are people who are nomadic, who are moving around. My folks were sedentary Indians that farmed. These people are largely, not all, white people who bought on the rolls in the 30s so they could steal land from people, as well as take land from the real people who are Indians. They were involved in slavery and everything bad that happened to Black people. And I really don't sit up thinking about them because I'm the safest of the Cherokees, other than that you get some benefits from them. The only thing I can point to that Barack Obama did exclusively for a Black population in America was to
No, you got a lot of static in the back. Whatever you're doing, you got a lot of static.
Well, I'm done. My mother can't carry this shit, so I had to do it. I'm done.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing that Barack Obama did for Black people exclusively, for a Black population, was to deny tax-exempt status to the Cherokee Nation for racially discriminating against the Cherokees that had Black or perceived Black heritage. So these civilized tribes have discriminated against Black people. The Seminoles, these people, when they get casinos, the first move they make is to strip the darkest looking ones of any of the benefits. That's the money from the casinos. This happened. You're in Connecticut. You shouldn't be asking me if you know anything about the Indians that were up in Connecticut. The name will come to me. The Pequots, who have a casino, and they had to go to the Supreme Court and fight to be considered Indians because the ones that were lighter skinned who
who had the same ancestor, but they married white, tried to cheat the darker skinned ones, saying that they weren't Pequot because of what they look like. So the Indians are racist. These Native Americans. And so I don't really worry about them. If after 400 years of what you've been through, you want to destroy us, I'll let you sort it out. If that's the best you can do, is hate me, then you sort it out. I wouldn't dare do a thing to hold them down. I wouldn't support anyone mistreating them, but they've got to hold their own nuts. And they don't do a very good job at it half the time. But they're not for real, and they haven't been our friends. We've been their friends, they've been their own friends. We need to stop being concerned. So, you have misplaced compassion. Let them sort it out.
Oh,
They got so much wisdom and all that kind of stuff. Just sort it out. They've got their own government. They've got land. They've got resources. Let them figure it out. And those same people look at you like they've never seen you before. I'm just telling you. And so, no, let them figure it out. Let them learn. It's time for us to stop being everybody's janitor. Wipe your own behind. It's time for us to stop playing those games. It's the same game as the Pan-Africanist. It's lame. I quit. I won't play it anymore.
All right. I know that the last thing I know that Brother Chef wanted us to talk about was Malcolm X's family suing the police department as well as FBI and etc. He wanted to definitely for us to weigh in on that too.
Okay.
That's the last thing.
They're not asking for enough money. They should ask for $1 billion or more dollars. They've made that much money off that man's likeness and everything since he's died. $1 billion would be a small payout. The government can give money to Ukraine. They can give to Malcolm's family. In fact, give to the King family if they promise to stay out of politics. Give them both $1 billion and go away. And then just two of them, $500 million apiece. I think that's the best they could do. Yeah, give the King kids, give them $1 billion apiece. They could probably give billions to the Shabazz family. I wouldn't be unhappy for them. They've been run through all, and they should help Medgar Everett's family. They need to give all these families money that were murdered.
Shout out to Medgar Everett. May he rest in power too. He was a good black man.
All of those people that were killed should get paid, especially if the government was involved. And it should be a huge amount. 100 million is too small. They're 5 sisters. That's $20 million apiece. That's not enough. They should have at least tried to get 50 million apiece.
I agree with you 1,000%. I think 100 million is too small, especially for all the money that they've made off of Malcolm, the cover up.
Easily.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I don't know who's even advising them to do this, just to take 100.
Well, they have Crump.
Ben Crump.
Oh my God.
They got curious.
We here today officially announce the filing of our $100 million lawsuit against the United States government, the FBI, the CIA, and the NYPD, who we believe all conspired to assassinate Malcolm X, one of the greatest thought leaders of the 21st century. The government fingerprints are all over the assassination of Malcolm X. And finally, we believe we have the evidence to prove it.
I'm grateful on behalf of my sisters, my 5 sisters, to stand here with a competent, ethical group of experts, legal experts, as we seek justice for the assassination of our father, and that the truth will be recorded in history.
$100 million is still too small.
Yeah,
I think
at least they should have asked for $1 billion. But they got to pay the attorneys, so they should have asked for like $1.5 billion. Hold on, selfish.
Yeah, I say the same thing.
That way they could pay the attorneys and all the money went straight to the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, we need people to be treated white when they go to court. Mm-hmm. Right, you'll get something. How many of you guys agree? Do you agree?
Oh, I agree. I like from what I'm observing about this thing is, I don't want to say that they buying these people off, but that's how it looks like, and they should get more. And I feel like it's doing our community a disservice that they're getting paid such a low ball. And I am looking at Benjamin Crump as a problem because he's been lowballing every atrocity that has happened to our people.
But
it has not made it to the point where white supremacists feel uncomfortable for murdering and killing our people.
But he gets paid well, and I would think that Mr. Crump is probably worth maybe close to $75 to $100 million.
The three daughters of Malcolm.
Someone look him up and find out how much he's worth. He's probably worth close to $100 million himself right now.
Next, joined civil rights attorney Ben Crump today to reveal what they say is evidence proving the NYPD and FBI conspired to have him assassinated. The civil rights activist and prominent figure in the Nation of Islam was killed at the Audubon Ballroom in February 1965. 3 men were convicted, but over the years, there have been conspiracy theories about whether someone else was responsible. Today, the cousin of a now deceased police officer says that in a deathbed declaration letter, Officer Ray Wood claimed his job was to infiltrate civil rights organizations and encourage leaders and members to commit felonies. He also claimed he was ordered to have Malcolm X's security detail arrested days before his assassination. Now, attorney Ben Crump is calling on the Manhattan DA to take action.
The question is, will they act to finally give restorative justice?
Any evidence that provides greater insight into the truth behind that terrible tragedy should be thoroughly investigated.
The NYPD said in a statement that the department has provided all available records to the Manhattan District Attorney. The DA said the office's review of this matter is active and ongoing. We have also reached out to the FBI for comment, but so far have not heard back.
That's Merrick Garland. You know Merrick Garland didn't like Malcolm X, and we all know why. Malcolm X is an anti-Semite. That's fine. Okay, guys. Now, what's next? Because the audience is probably worn out.
Well, I think that was what Brother Chef would like us to close out on. He definitely wanted us to talk about the Malcolm X thing. Lead that up to that. He did want us to address the B4 movement and where that Whoopi Goldberg nonsense, and also talking about the Bible being the new finest addition to our children's education in Oklahoma. So those are some of the things I know that based off of what we were talking about yesterday, one of the things he wanted us to cover specifically.
He also just texted me and said the elephant in the room is Ben Crump. And to Dr. Short's question was, how much is he worth? I just pulled him up. He said he's worth $10 million.
That's too little. He was worth over $20 million 9 years ago. It's worth more than that.
But again, the elephant in the room is it appears that his name has become the Rolodex for the go-to person.
The magic legal Negro.
Yeah.
He's definitely no Ben. He's definitely not no Johnny Cochran, and he's not the other brother too that had the book The Debt too. Randall. He ain't cut from that cloth.
Well,
you know he's boule. He's boule, and he has a speaking style that reminds me of Stymie from the Little Rascals.
I think when I see Ben Trump, I think I see the fixes in. That they've already settled this matter because he doesn't go to court. All he does is settle. That's it. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a closed document that they will not be able to discuss the terms of the document of the settlement because I ain't got them going to court. I just don't.
Well,
when he's
Malcolm's family like money. I'm not mad at him, but they could get more.
Yeah.
That's my criticism. They could get more money.
Okay, we can end it now, fellas. I guess I know people probably worn out. Unless you got something else you want to say, Negro.
No, nothing more. But we could go into. Do you want me to lead off with the ending, where they can reach us and all that other good stuff too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. You can reach the Negro Black Knights Heritage Club at tnbkhc.org. We have our website up. There will be more adjustments done to it and stuff of that nature. So I just want to keep you abreast by that. But the website is up. We will have membership information and all the stuff to go along with that shortly. And also what our objectives are and what's going on. And that will be publicized. So you can't say that you don't know because you will be told.
So salute. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, brother
You
Chef.
sound like
Yeah.
What
you
the
sound
hell,
like a white
man?
from South Jersey.
This shit is terrible.
And we just lost you again.
Man, they doing brother dirty right now. But that's about it. It seemed like we might have to go around in the firing circle.
Test it.
Oh, there we go.
Test it.
You back, Chef. You back.
You're back, brother Chef.
Well, you were back.
Well,
salute. Am I back? Am I alive?
yeah,
Yes, you are.
All right, let's get ready to close. Ladies and gentlemen,
you know what? Fire that black
okay.
sound engineer.
Listen, apparently,
Fire
Man,
that black.
that's
fire
Roland
that black-
Martin's technician. That's Roland Martin's technician.
Fire that black sound technician.
no, it's definitely this damn StreamYard. They done got me smooth out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, brother Juan J. Johnson, I heard you, brother Negro, brother Juan J. Johnson, actually, brother Dr.
Now,
they fucking with me.
Look, I told you, fire that black sound technician. He's not a part of us. I told you.
In the pipeline,
not
brother
to
Dr.
trust
Short.
him.
Go ahead, sir.
I told you not to trust him, and we let him in. See, they're all alike. Okay, this is Dr. Randy Short, and look, when my health permits, I'm the host of the Angry Black Men's Book Club. We will be doing a show this week, and it's going to be Confessions of a Radical Boomer, one of my boomer friends who was in all the different movements. All boomers weren't bad. So if you guys just check me out on YouTube, I want to thank all 2,500 of you that follow me on the Angry Black Men's Book Club. I thank everybody like Sister Star and others who send donations. Please give me your prayers. And if you love this conversation, there are many more on the Angry Black Men's Book Club channel. We will pick up. We just have to get this health together. Again, I have to do a shout out to Chef C. It's one of the greatest wingmen of all times, and also Brother Juan. And if you like, one of the best things to do to support me is to follow me again, the Angry Black Men's Book Club. You can find me practically anywhere. Just Google me, you'll find me. And if you like to donate, and I love donations because I've got to buy a whole bunch of books, and I don't want to, for my research, I'm at Dr. Randy Short on Patreon. I'm $ Dr. Randy Short on Cash Short at gmail.com, on PayPal and Zelle. Let me do those all over again. Patreon is DrRandyShort. Dr. Randy Short. The Cash App is $ DrRandyShort. The Zelle and the PayPal is WRandyShort at gmail.com. WRandyShort at gmail.com. That's Zelle and PayPal. I'm also Dr. Randy Short at Venmo. So you can help out. It doesn't matter. It's $1, $2, whatever. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to get because we're eventually going to have a discussion on Palestine, and I need to get a few more texts. And so, yes, drop me a line, and you can email me. My personal email is wrandyshort@gmail.com. I also have a website called the Angry Black Men's Book Club, which you can find. We're going to work on that, too. Much love to everybody, and feminism is a lie, but God is true.
Facts. And if you want to reach the Lone Wolf, all you need to do is just go to lwftraining.com. That's lwftraining.com. That's short for Lone Wolf Firearms Training. Leave me a message. I will get back with you. You'll see me on these airways with on their necks. I'll probably start going live again, probably 3 times out the week, starting next week. And I will have my merch up hopefully by Tuesday of this week. It'll be attached to the same website where you'll be able to buy the shirts with the wolf pack, short sleeve, long sleeve, and maybe even some leggings if you're a female. You may get little leggings. So looking forward to that. And again, thank you all for tuning in.
Those are leggings made for women?
Yes, the leggings for women. Okay. Women's like leggings, but they have a wolf on them.
Okay. And those aren't for men. So don't you guys think you macho wearing that?
No, not for men.
And don't come to his range. You may get busted capping you wearing women's clothes. Don't do that. Don't mess with him. You'll find out.
And look, I want to thank all those who keep contributing. It's just the star. You know who you are. All those who are making these broadcasts. Yeah. And look, do not forget to look at. You may need to come to our websites and unsubscribe and resubscribe because a lot of people are not getting notified when we come in, especially when I go online. So go to Lone Wolf Firearms. You should see the logo on the back. I need you to go and unsubscribe and then resubscribe. Okay. Don't forget to share the program and like it. And thank you for your patience and for hanging in with us. We do appreciate it. And much success to everybody that's under the sound of my voice.
You already know. Salute and thank you, brother Armand.
Oh, yeah. I need to get you. I need that donation.